A very good morning to all the students. This is Veena teacher. Hope all of you are fine and safe. Children, we are there in the topic sexual reproduction in flowering plants, and in that chapter we are there in steps in sexual life cycle of angiosperms, and in that we completed in previous modules the first one, development of anther. We also completed formation of microspore, and in today's module we're going to discuss about pollination. Now, as all of you know, you have studied about pollination in your lower classes also. Now, there are certain events which are going to take place in the anthers, that is to the pollen grains, before pollination. So before going directly into the types of pollination, we are going to study what are the various changes that are going to happen to the male gametophyte before actual pollination takes place. Now here, in this regard, whatever development we are talking about, everything happens inside the anther. The cytoplasm that is present inside the pollen grains, it is highly vacuolated. Okay, and here the microspore undergoes mitotic division, and all of you know that after mitotic division two daughter cells are formed, and the two daughter cells are, one is vegetative cell, second one is germinative cell. Now vegetative cell, it develops and forms the pollen tube, and germinative cell, it further divides and forms two male gametes. So this is how the anther, the stages of development that takes place inside the anther, and these are the things that happen to the pollen grains. Now one more event that happens before pollen grain is dehiscence of anther. Now here you can see this diagram. Here you have the anther. Now dehiscence of anther is the pollen grains that are present here inside the anther. When they mature, they exert certain kind of a pressure on the anther wall. Now because of this pressure, the anther wall bursts, and then the germinating pollen grains, they come outside this anther. This particular step is called dehiscence of anther. Now the pollen grains which are released from the anther, now depending upon the kind of plant, there are two possibilities of pollinations happening. The first one is self-pollination, and the second one is cross-pollination. Now here, coming to the self-pollination, pollen from the anthers is transferred to the stigma of the same plant. Now here you can see in the diagram the pollen grains which are released from the anther, they're going to fall on the stigma of the same flower, same plant. This kind of pollination is called self-pollination. Now the self-pollination is of two types, autogamy and geitonogamy. In the case of autogamy, it takes place with a single flower. You can see that the pollen grains are falling on the stigma of the same flower. This is known as autogamy. In geitonogamy, what happens is, this is the same plant. These two flowers belong to the same plant, and the pollination is happening between the two flowers of the same plant, wherein the pollen grains are falling on the stigma of a different flower belonging to the same plant. Now let us very quickly see to the advantages and disadvantages of self-pollination. Now pollination is certainly sure if self-pollination happens. The parental characteristics are preserved. Fewer pollen grains are needed because pollen need not travel for a long distance. Flowers need not be large, showy or scented, or there is no need to produce nectar. Disadvantages is often the offsprings are weaker. No new varieties are possible, and the weaker strains cannot be eliminated. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of self-pollination. Now let us go to the cross-pollination. Now in the cross-pollination, there are two different plants of the same species involved, and here in the cross-pollination you can see that the pollen grains from one flower is falling on the stigma of another flower of another plant, and vice versa is taking place. So this kind of pollination is called cross-pollination. Now let us see to the advantages and disadvantages of cross-pollination. The biggest advantage is the offsprings that are produced after cross-pollination, these are healthier. New varieties are produced and the seeds that are produced are abundant and of good quality. Even in these flowers, the pollen grains which are produced are of very great numbers. Now disadvantage is pollination is not always sure, because pollen grains, by the time they reach the flower, the pollen grains may get destroyed or they may not reach the correct place. So a lot of pollen is produced and wasted. The flowers should be large, showy, scented and have nectar. Now this is disadvantage. Why? Because the plant or the plant should be using a lot of energy to have the flowers which are very bright in color, showy, and the plant should spend some energy to produce certain kinds of scent or fragrance or nectar, etc. So these are the disadvantages of cross-pollination. Children, we are going to stop here. The pollination segment we are going to continue once again, because we have to see about various agents of pollinations. Okay, and we have to also study about artificial hybridization and pollen pistil interaction. So these are the three topics which are there in pollination. We're going to continue about this topic in our next segment. So till then, all of you, please take care of yourself. God bless you all.